President Joe Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure plan is still working its way toward approval, and part of the blueprint is a $1 billion investment to address past harms to black communities impacted by the interstate highway system back in the 50s and 60s.
And that news is raising hopes around the country, and here in Houston, KPRC2's Sion Rhodes is live for us now in Independence Heights to examine the impacts in this Stronger Houston report.
And Lauren, it can be easy to forget as we drive these roads each and every day that in many cases there were homes there before the road. So this is very much a very big first for a federal administration to be acknowledging the damage done to historically black neighborhoods by the creation of the interstate highway system decades ago. Many of these communities still feeling the effects to this day. The 41,000 miles of interstates created by the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 were supposed to pave the way not only for faster commutes, but jobs and prosperity. But in the process, the U.S. Department of Transportation says the program displaced more than 475,000 households and 1 million people between 1957 and 1977.
That side was homes, and then on the other side, that's when you started in the city of Houston. So this freeway really was a boundary here.
Tanya DeBose says that number includes her family, whose roots in Independence Heights run deep.
My great-great-grandfather came here in 1924. He bought a house right here on the North Loop.
Stories of displacement passed down from her mother.
It was just talks when they were little children about, they're going to take our homes. The freeway is coming. We saw 330 other families that were displaced.
45 had the worst impact because that split 3rd Ward, split 4th Ward, and split areas north of downtown. Neighborhoods were lost.
Here in Houston, we know from historians have estimated that somewhere between 40,000 people were displaced between 1950 and 1980. And so a lot of that legacy lives with us now.
In a presidential memorandum issued in January, the federal government acknowledged the interstate highway system disproportionately burdened historically black and low-income neighborhoods, adding that many urban interstate highways were deliberately built to pass through black neighborhoods, causing the destruction of housing and other local institutions.
The decision of power and where alignment of highways went through really became weaponized and became a tool to confirm a lot of the racial redlining practices and segregation practices.
With many black neighborhoods here in Houston and in cities around the country still disconnected from access to high-quality housing, jobs, and public transit, the Biden administration is proposing a $1 billion effort to reconnect neighborhoods cut off by historic investments and ensure new projects increase opportunity, advance racial equity, and environmental justice.
Through a program of this type and through investments like this, you are able to restitch some of that. You are able to kind of heal some of those divisions.
This area has totally changed. Will it change again? I'm sure it will. But one of the changes that we don't need is we don't need more people displaced, and we don't need more people, more culture erased.
And DuBose and others making reference to the I-45 North Freeway expansion. It's very controversial. They feel like it's a case of history repeating itself, but they say they do feel positive and see some signs of encouragement in the fact that the federal government has stepped in to temporarily halt that project. Live in Independence Heights tonight, Sion Rhodes, KPRC 2 News.